Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Manic, an experimental build released today. Well, I say today. Released on the 4th of December. I have no idea when this is going to go up, as ever. However, this experimental build is a little bit special. Because, I believe, unless I am grossly mistaken, and if you know me particularly well, you'll know that I'm regularly grossly mistaken. I believe the monsters have been added. I'm not definite, but I think they have. Did you hear that? Because I heard that and I didn't like what I heard. Okay, so, I have to confess, due to the length of time it has been since the last time I was playing the main campaign, I've forgotten which levels I did on camera and which ones I didn't. So, yes, I'm very sorry about that, but I thought the level that we would play, because it's one that I know we didn't do in the series, and it's one that I know definitely has some monsters in it, and has an interesting little bit of strategy that we can do with some monsters, is where the heck of the audio cue's gone. That's a little bizarre, but never mind. Yes, Lava Laughter. I'll do the voice acting myself.
Are you ready for the next mission? The geological scanners have located a cavern system that has an abundance of energy crystals and ore. Your mission is simple. Build a Rock Raider HQ and collect 30 energy crystals. The mission may sound like an easy task for somebody of your capability. However, the scanners have been playing up again, and I don't want you to take any chances. Good luck, Rock Raider.
Okay. So, it immediately strikes me that at the beginning of one of the missions, where you need to find the tunnel transport, there was a little message that said the monsters aren't in the game. If I played that one, that message might have been different and said, hooray, the monsters are in the game now, or by the way, they're still not and you misread the thing, Phil. I'm beginning to regret that I didn't play that one, but we're in this one now, so frankly we're just going to get on with it and yes, just see what inevitably goes wrong, because of course something will go wrong, and it will go wrong quite quickly, I imagine. Oh, it does feel good to be back in this game, though. I have been playing the game, as you probably noticed from looking at which of the missions have been completed on the campaign on the main menu screen. I have been playing this game on and off in my spare time, just enjoying the game and doing bits of farming and the such like, and I've played through all of the different missions which do and don't have monsters in them, and what that means is that it's been a very long time since I've actually fought a monster in this game. Like, a really long time, because we started playing Manic back at the very beginning of the year, back in January of this year, so... And I haven't played the original Rock Raiders since then, because my copy has still been badly bugged. So, I am probably going to die a lot and screw up massively and repeatedly whilst fighting off these horrific beasts. I think the reason that nobody's clearing any rubble is because nobody has a spade. No, some of you do have spades, but I wish you'd get on with your jobs then, if that's not too much to ask then. Right. So, what do we have to do in this mission? We have to collect crystals of course we do. I could be mad, but has this changed a tiny bit? I feel like the power path didn't used to appear as a little or a yellow blob when it was being constructed, but maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm mad. Oh, I know what we can do. You know, a perfect way to solve this conundrum would just be to see if they've added the weapons in. They have. The laser beam, high damage but no special effects apart from murder. Pusher beam, wide projectile that gives anything a little push backwards, making this blaster excellent for defense. And freezer beam slows down enemies and can potentially freeze them. A sonic blaster which can be deployed to scare off slugs and passive creatures. Why am I not allowed to have one of those? Do I need some form of building or some similar thing in order to give those out? Potentially I do. That was never the case in the past, because the sonic blaster is the anti-slug device, because they are pretty much impervious to the... I should really be getting on with stuff instead of actually just sitting here prattling. What am I doing? Upgrade the thing. Why can't I... Oh, I can build this. Sorry. I've been so busy at university, I haven't actually had time to play Manic Miners in ages, so... yeah. Just going to be generally really rusty for this. Okay. Let's actually upgrade this as well, so we can get through this wall, because this cavern actually has something a little bit unusual and unique about it, in the sense that it's perfectly symmetrical. Everything that exists on the left exists identically on the right, or the other way around, depending on your perspective. Which is a very bizarre thing, which I'm pretty sure is only true of this mission and none other, which is little eccentricity, a little idiosyncrasy of this mission. Okay, so we need to get our support station going, because, let's be honest, the monsters can kill us, but the air will kill us first. Right. I hope one day they add in the little countdown, the little numbers counting down for the blowing up of the dynamite, because that was a nice little extra bit that would be nice to see brought back in. But anyway, right, we need to push through here as well, because I need to show you a little something on the raid. I mean, you can see it here. You can see it just here. This is kind of a portal to a horrible place where everything's going to go quite wrong quite quickly. But that we'll let that arrive in its own sweet time. So we need to finish off the construction of the support station, and we need to get some trucks. Because if there's one thing I remember about this mission, it is trucks. Many trucks. Trucks shall be the solution to our problems. And that's not even a comment about the current supply chain issues. Okay, we want trucks. Let us get our first truck. Let us also bring down some more people, so that they can drive the things. This is also going to be interesting, because previously I haven't needed to balance my needs between people to drive the trucks and people to defend the trucks. But that is going to be something I'm going to have to do from now on. Also, I wonder, if I remember correctly, somewhere in the settings menu, there's like a peaceful mode, or a difficulty setting that I was going to say removes the monsters, but before today they haven't been in. So it would only actually come into effect now. But that would be nice if my memory serves me correctly, and indeed such a thing does exist, because it is it's different, of course, to how the original game was playing without monsters, but it is quite enjoyable to have the option to play the bigger, larger endgame missions and just have them as peaceful farming exercises rather than as extensive battle scenarios. So just to keep the flexibility open, it would be nice to keep that in. Are you guys talking more? Do you guys have additional lines of dialogue? Because I do not remember you chatting this much. I don't know. Maybe it's just because of all the music I was listening to. I didn't hear half of it. I don't think I'm really going to need anything else. Don't really need a super teleport pad at the minute. That's not really necessary. But we'll need this upgrade station, because we'll be able to make our trucks a lot better. Although saying that, a super teleport would allow me to get through all of this hard rock an awful lot easier. Bring down some sort of device for that. But we'll leave that to one side for the moment. So yes, give me a moment, because obviously, you know, I've shown you fair enough of the base building and mining and things. Obviously, I know what you're here for, and I've already made you wait a good 10 minutes. I'm not going to make you wait all that much longer. So give me a moment to get a few resources together and sort of set a few things up, and then we'll let all hell break loose. Right. Genuinely nervous. Okay. As you can see, I've equipped my 5 people here with guns. And then I've got 5 people all sitting on top of each other here in this sort of deck of cards that is 5 little trucks. You know what else I should set up? Some of this, because this is like actually vaguely pertinent and useful. Now I should really erect some of this. I don't know whether this works. Those weren't there before. Those little cones weren't there before, so that's hopeful. That's hopeful that this works, at least a little bit. Ah, there we are, and there's the zapping of the electricity. Good, that preserved this moment for another 30 seconds. Oh, gosh. Okay. We got 5 trucks. We got 5 troops. Now you're going to see why all of this has been set up. There's not going to be a lot I can do in this moment. I'm just going to have to kind of pray.
An energy crystal has been found.
We'll fight, I think. Oh, goodness. Okay, that was okay, that's a little unexpected. Oh dear. A lot of things are happening right now, and I can't really show them to you all at once, which is a bit of a shame, because a lot... whoa, whoa, how the hell did you get through that? Okay, this is a problem. This is a serious problem. This is an incredibly serious problem. Oh, goodness. All of you guys need to get out of these trucks right now, and you need to get guns. Get guns! Could you just get out of that gun, please? Like, I've never. Just get guns, all of you. Just please. Okay. That actually went even worse than I thought it was going to go, and I didn't think it was going to go very well. Okay. Right. Sheesh. Where to even frickin' begin? Here's where to begin. With repairs. With everything being repaired. Like, absolutely everything. Could everyone get a lot of spanners, please?
Sorry.
Not hammers, I wanted spanners. Oh, dear. Okay. Where do we even begin? So, as I probably didn't show you, because frankly I just ended up spending that entire time panicking, we opened this cavern to enjoy the wondrous view of this lake of lava. There was monsters here and monsters here. Oddly, not lava monsters, rock monsters, which is a little bizarre. Maybe they've only programmed in one set of monsters so far. And there was a big old bundle of crystals here. That's what the trucks were for. The trucks were there so that they could rush over here and grab all the crystals and bring them home before... Could somebody get in that truck, please? Thank you. Before the monsters could wake up and eat them, because monsters eat crystals, right? And then, hooray. And then... then the people ran off to start shooting them. Except they didn't seem to do a very good job of shooting them, because then all of the monsters suddenly turned up here, the electric fence stopped working for some bizarre reason, and then the monsters started destroying everything in their path. Great. Absolutely marvellous. And why do I get the distinct impression that some people died? How many people have we got here? No, actually, maybe not everyone did die, actually, now that I think about it. 4, 5... No, I think everyone's fine. If there were casualties, they were minimal. Right. That didn't go very well at all. That was an absolute embarrassment. What the hell do I do now? What I do now is be a little less ambitious, I think, and try something that's going to involve like 2 or 3 monsters, not a dozen.
Good work.
But never
All
mind.
30 energy crystals were
It doesn't
collected.
matter. Yes, this shows you the amount of farming I've been doing and just playing the game in between now and the last time. Okay, we've met a monster. The monsters were monstrous, and frankly the monsters kicked my butt. But how does that surprise anybody? It really shouldn't. What other mission should we do? My only concern about doing Frozen Frenzy is that the monsters will just appear when they fancy, which will make sort of structuring it in terms of a video rather difficult. And I'm not sure how much I want to do a more advanced mission, like Back to Basics or Rocky Horror, because, well... if they kick my butt that easily, I dread to think how easily they're going to do it in the more difficult missions. But, let's go back to Frozen Frenzy.
Have been monitoring the movement of large, unidentified life forms that appear to be made from ice.
Okay, so this message here hasn't changed. It says that they still haven't implemented these monsters, which makes me think, are the ice monsters not in this? I thought they were. Like, unless I'm completely befuddled, allow me to check in order to check my level of befuddlement. Okay, so upon me actually slowing down in my excitement to read the information that has actually been posted on the internet, what I thought was a list of current features is actually a list of not yet implemented features that are coming soon. So the rock monsters are in the game, but the ice and lava monster models are not. So basically all the monsters look like rock monsters, I think, at the moment. There's also no slimy slugs, which makes me happy, because that means nobody can try to convince me to do Back to Basics. So I think that means that everything we're going to be doing is going to be based... is going to be dealing with rock monsters, not lava monsters or ice monsters, which is fun. So, this is I Spy, which I think I did show, but is another mission which has monsters in it, which actually, hang on a second, I should probably give you people guns before you do that. Sorry. Like I say, I'm out of practice with this. Okay, let me give them guns again, and then they'll actually be prepared to break through these areas, because this mission has a number of different little caverns that are all connected by adjoining corridors, and each one of them has a few monsters in it. So my hope is that I can be slightly less unsuccessful this time. Here we are. This is what I mean. Okay, so naturally they sleep. I'm not looking for a good thumbnail, honest. Yes, indeed. So naturally they just sleep, and they're all curled up and snoozing, quite adorably, in a kind of a menacing way. Yes. So we can actually examine these creatures in their natural habitat instead of running in, polluting their environment with our engines, stealing all of their food, and then shooting them. We're not actually doing that this time. Kitty arm. Okay. So, yes, now I actually have the opportunity to kind of work with the monsters without panicking quite so much, one would hope. So everybody's got a gun, so they are prepared to fight if we need to. I want to walk over there and murder them. Which is a slightly horrible thing to say, but I mean, they are monsters, for goodness sake. It's literally in the name. But then again, I guess they didn't name themselves. I don't know. I want to just walk over there and wake them up. But also, at the same time, that seems like an unnecessarily dangerous situation. it's going to say because I could build my base up first. What good would that actually do? That would just give them more things to break. I don't know. I also don't know if monsters can spawn yet, because monsters don't just appear by being discovered in various locations. They appear by spawning out of rocks. They climb out of the rocks when they get a bit sick of the new neighbours and decide they would like to sort the situation out a little bit.
Nice. Okay, I'll do it, man.
I don't know if that's in here yet, so you know, monsters could literally appear from over here in like 2 seconds, and then attack my base and destroy everything that I am attempting to build. I wouldn't put that past any of these monsters. Right, let me faff around with this and try to find a place where I can build this. There's no tidy way of building a base in this mission. I don't know how much I discussed this one the first time we played I Spy, but yeah, there's no tidy way to do this, because this mission is frankly just a mess when it comes to the floor. Everything is just slightly too tilted.
Hey.
I gave you a gun, didn't I? Yes, I did. Can I shoot as a Can I shoot while in control of these people? Tools. X. Gun. Yes. Now how do I shoot with this? Oh, whoa, hang on. I think I did shoot. Hi, little friend. What a surprise. I'm not a good shot. Okay. Can I fail miserably when I do this? Can I try and shoot him myself? Okay, yeah, these guns do not do a lot of damage. But it doesn't really matter because they're not very bright. I should... Oh, goodness. Spoke a little bit too soon, it seems. Oh, goodness. Oh, I thought you were going to gather a bit of boulder for a rock. Oh, he's leaving! Yes. Good, good, good. I didn't even kill him. I just mortally wounded him so that he can go back and die in the arms of his family. Lovely. Okay. This is going to make shooting in third person a little bit difficult because you kind of have to block your own view in order to aim. Because if I shoot like that, then he shoots too far down. Oh, goodness. I really should have put on red alert before I did this, shouldn't I? Oh, goodness, I'm sorry. I mean, no, I'm not. But, you know. Just die, please. Just please, please, please. No, not him. I shot one of my comrades. Okay, I don't know how many times I should say this, but I'm going to keep on saying it basically forever. This is... and that is the wrong button. This is an experimental build. These are like the first stepping stones. These are like the very first iterations of the monsters that are even vaguely resembling finished. Even vaguely resembling functional, let alone finished. So it's still a good way off before, you know, before their death animations are correct, before they're spawning out of walls properly. They used to slow down when they walked over a power path, and they could smash it by stomping their feet. They also used to walk faster when on rubble. I don't think any of that is in the game yet. There's something about them not being able to attack vehicles yet, which is probably something to do with them moving around, perhaps, as opposed to like the buildings, which are very stationary, so possibly that bit of their AI hasn't been programmed in yet, which is very understandable. What else? Yes, said the slimy slugs aren't in it yet. They are not yet equipped with rocks, because what a monster can do if they so fancy, and trust me, they do fancy it, is when they walk along and they find a bit of wall, they can kind of gather up, a bit like a snowball, gather up bits of rock into a ball, and then, well, violently and viscerally assault you with them, which they take great pleasure in doing. And while I'd love to show you that, again, that's one of the things that isn't here yet. One thing I would be interested in giving a try is combat with lasers. It's going to be basically impossible setting up that many buildings in this very fiddly area. But we need another energy crystal, and I'm just sitting here prattling on rather than actually looking for the freaking thing. Yes, it's going to be tricky to set up that many buildings, but I'm going to try. And I'm going to see if we can basically shoot a monster with a mining laser or a chrome crusher or something like that. This is a random thought, but it's a cool random thought, so I'll go to say it anyway. With the... yes, could you just pick that up and get that the hell out of here before they wake up? Thank you very much. We've got the tunnel transport in the game now, yeah? And it seemingly doesn't have any combat capabilities in terms of, you know, it's just a flying machine, or an aeroplane, as those of us in the 21st century describe it as, or an aircraft would probably be a more accurate description. It's an aircraft, but why are you powering this? Power it. Thank you. It's not rocket science. It's called power it so we don't die. Maybe the tunnel transport could be useful, because the tunnel transport can pick things up. It can pick things up like a vehicle. What if the tunnel transport could pick up a monster? Like if there was a monster that was approaching your base. Say we had a monster that was approaching down here, and I hadn't set up the electric fence yet, and all of my troops were off fighting some people over here, but a sneaky monster had appeared here. I could get my tunnel transport and fly it over here and pick the monster up using the tunnel transport. Now, maybe the monster could then like reach up and bash at the tunnel transport to make it only like a temporary stunning ability, so that the monster could drop down and then carry on with its assault. That sounds like it would be cool to do. I don't know whether that would be even possible to program in this, or whether anybody else would have any interest in such a thing. But as the random dreams of a madman, that sounds like a kind of a cool idea, at least to me anyway. Right. I'm a bit worried. They're going to go over and try to clear that, and they're going to wake these kids up, aren't they? I'm going to set up a bit more electric fence, I think. Yes. I'm going to set up a lot of electric fence. In fact, I'm going to set up 2 lines of electric fence. It's going to take up a lot of resources. And thinking about it, I'm probably going to need to put buildings there. So again, that was a really, really stupid idea. I'm actually going to get rid of... yeah, all of that, I think. Can you take that back, please? Thank you. Sorry about that. I feel like I've wasted your time. Sorry. I need to figure out and put in my buildings first. So, if I get a super teleport pad, then I can get my chrome crusher. I'm going to need a super teleport pad for any of these vehicles here. If I got the mining laser as well, I could then get this. But they both cost the same amount. They both got a laser, so I don't think it's going to make a lot of difference. So let's go for the super teleport pad if I can find anywhere to build it, he says, immediately finding somewhere to build it. And then losing that place quite quickly. There we are. Okay, so let's put a piece of power path there. And then we'll build our super teleport pad, and then I'll do a bit of mining, get enough crystals, and I'll try to keep these guys alive if I can. But I don't think that's going to be very successful. Speaking of things that aren't very successful, me standing around and waiting rather than bringing down more troops in order to get the work done a bit faster. Right, never mind, sorry. Okay, yeah, give me a minute, I'll finish off this building, get us some crystals, and then we'll get ourselves a vehicle, and we'll see if we can play around with some vehicle combat as well. Oh goodness. Oh goodness, oh goodness, goodness. Everything's gone wrong. Somebody walked past a monster and woke it up. Right. That's... You don't just, you blithering idiots. We had literally just declared a ceasefire, and you people just rampantly wander off and start murdering the local wildlife. Man alive. That was stupid. I was just mining out across here, and somebody got a little too close to a monster and woke it up. Oh dear. One thing I would mention that I didn't notice before, when you turn on action stations, when you turn on red alert to get everyone in combat readiness, in the original, their little thought bubbles turned into this little red exclamation mark, red and yellow exclamation mark, which told you that they had a gun and that they were going off to perform some violence. But now they don't do that, which is a little bit of a shame because it makes it tricky to identify who has a gun and who doesn't. And of course, in a life and death situation like that, you need to know who's got a gun and who doesn't, so that you can tell the people who don't have a gun to go off and get one. So I hope that as the game progresses and as the combat mechanics are filled out, as it were, that that thing will be added in, wherever thing is I'm prattling on about. Because that would be unfortunate to leave behind. At least they've improved the AI. Because previously what they like to do is get just out of range of a monster and then shoot. Which, yes, is just as unsuccessful as it sounds. They'd get just out of range of the monsters and then shoot, and if the monster's walking away from them, then the monsters would, well, outrun the bullet, basically. And yeah, they seem to have fixed that now. The monster, the men don't seem to be doing it anymore. They do seem to be standing on a corner and trying to shoot through a corner in order to attack the enemy. But again, the AI is still in its early stages. It's not expected to be perfect. So again, that will be sorted with time. Okay, I want to go over there and get those ones, but I don't want to just murder all the monsters because I need to save some of them. I need to save some of them to be murdered in the correct way. Oh dear. I'm starting to feel a little bit ashamed of myself in some of the things that this game is making me say. Oh well, never mind. Okay. So, we've got enough crystals in order to get ourselves the device of murder. No, we don't. What have I forgotten to do? I've forgotten to upgrade this. That's what. Weird. I thought you only needed to do that to get the eternal transport, but it seems I stand corrected. Okay, let's get the Chrome Crusher back, and let's have you drive it, because you always seem to be upset about something. Okay. This has a laser. A big laser. And I'm going to use it to shoot something. And after that, I'm going to show you the other two weapon types. I'm going to give the other weapon type to you. I have given a freezer beam to Jet, because Jet is wearing blue, and I feel like it is appropriate for her to have a blue gun. So, Jet has the freezer beam, and now Bandit is going to have the pusher beam, and we're going to experiment with those two guns and see how they compare. Assuming that the monsters survive long enough that everybody else hasn't killed them by that point. So, first and foremost, let me scooch this a little closer. And let's see how badly this goes. I should emphasise I've got no guarantee this will work, and it may do 0 damage, but wake the monster up, and then the monster will come over here, destroy the Chrome Crusher and eat all the crystals. That's entirely possible. But we'll see what happens. Right. Yes, it does work, and it does quite a bit more damage. And if they weren't such slowpokes, they might actually present a danger. Okay, I don't think that worked perfectly. Never mind, it doesn't matter. Where's Jet? Here's Jet. Okay, right. Well, that was vaguely successful. That's good. At least that means the lasers have further multi-purpose uses. Okay, let us set action stations going. So now everybody is ready to do some shooting. Let's get the gun out. There we go. And let's see what I can do with this. Have I frozen him? Is that why he's doing that? I probably should have waited for him to be moving before I shot him, but never mind. I feel like I might have broken the game a little bit, because some of the animations don't seem to be working perfectly. No, they're not moving, which means I can't freeze them. And now they're probably all dead, which means I don't have time to do... Oh, there we are. At least we can see the pusher beam working. No, again, we can't, because he's not standing in a position which allows him to be moved by a pusher beam. But never mind, at least you can see the different colours, if nothing else. Oh, goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I've seemingly done this all wrong. But, never mind. Never mind. Oh gosh. Okay, well at least I tried. At least we know that the vehicles work well for fighting off them. And thinking about it, that means that having a mining laser at your base would be a really good idea. Particularly if you had it in a vaguely central location. Or you could even have them as like turrets, like towers, to defend the entrances to your base. Because then when monsters are attacking you, you can click on the mining laser and use it to fire at the monsters, who will be close by, or else they wouldn't be dangerous. But you can keep the mining laser safe by keeping it behind the electric fence. And then you'll be able to use that to defend your base, even if most of your miners are off doing other things, if they're out battling in the field. Excellent. There's going to be a lot of strategy, and I mean, it's a real-time strategy game. Of course, there's strategy, you know. But you know what I mean, you know. It's not just about brute force. It's not just about running in and shooting things. It's not purely a numbers game. But I mean, it is, because you can bring down like a second support station, or maybe even a third support station, and bring down like 20 or 30 miners and give them all laser beams. And then you pretty much win against anything. But, you know, it's just nice to have those options. There's different things that you can experiment with and try out, and then you can whack your knee into the desk. That's always fun. Addition to the you can do all these different various things to just play around with the game and sort of see what happens, and try out different ways of doing things and see what works and what doesn't. Right. Was it because I shot you with this? Is that why you're not moving? Okay, good. You're moving now. I should probably, you know, said that. Oh yeah, you don't attack vehicles, do you? Ha! No! You just eat crystals instead! Oh, you beast! Die! That's better! How dare you try to eat your own natural source of food that doesn't at all belong to me, but I'm gonna pretend like it does. Oh, actually, we should try and get Jet down here, actually, because Jet would be able to help. Actually, I shouldn't be shooting from that distance because I'm draining my crystals by doing that, aren't I? Oh dear. Okay, right. If you'd... Okay, maybe it was just that one that was working properly. I think these monsters are a bit depressed. I think the monsters are a bit depressed because they don't really seem to be doing anything. Never mind. Let's see if Jet can actually freeze one. I don't remember, because I barely used the pusher beams in the freezing. We use the pusher beams. Use the pusher beams against the slimy slugs, because that helps them push them away from your base and prevent them from sucking up any of your crystals. But, I've no idea. Maybe the guns work. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. Frankly, I've not of all these. Let's turn that off. Thank you. Yes, I don't know. Maybe the guns work, maybe they don't. But I don't really remember how the freezer beams and the pusher beams worked. I remember that they froze people and they pushed people. I remember that much. I'm not that stupid. Yeah, I remember that much. But I don't distinctly remember how they worked in terms of, like, their visuals. This is going to be an interesting balance, though, because either you get your vehicle close to the monster, which means you don't need to expend crystals shooting. Oh, you've got the pusher beam now, and he's moving now. Did that work? Did he get pushed? I don't think he's getting pushed. I don't think he's getting pushed. Okay, never mind. Let's have another try. Oh, so it still does a fair amount of damage. It doesn't do as much damage, but it still does a fair amount of damage. Okay, that's fair enough. I don't think the pusher beams used to do much damage at all, if indeed any damage. So, that's good. That's good to see that they're actually, you know, tactical as well as useful. You know, there's a strategy there. You balance off doing a little bit less damage with pushing the monsters away, which help delay their progress. Which is probably useful if you've got a small number of, excuse me, if you've got a small number of miners, because then that helps push the monsters away and delay them, and give time for your other miners to catch up, or for you to do something in order to protect your crystals, or whatever. But anyway, I mean, never mind. Yeah, I'm sorry. I feel like I should be showing the game off in a better light, and it's difficult for me to know precisely how much of this is due to the limitations of the current experimental build, and how much is due to me being a muppet. I'm gonna err on the side of me being a moron, because that tactic has served me quite well in the past, in numerous times, particularly in editing, when I noticed something, and then realised, that was that thing I was complaining about the whole time. Really, it wasn't the game's fault, it was my fault. I should really bring down some trucks. These poor kids are going to be Olympic sprinters by the time they bring all of these crystals back. Right. I think that probably about does it for this mission. I feel like I've shown off the different weapons and tried to show off the monsters, shown off the vehicle combat. I wouldn't mind having another go with the electric fence and figuring out what's going on with that. Because I feel like there's something a bit screwy going on with that. Because it seemed like half the time it wasn't working. Maybe they hit it and they broke it. I don't know. Is there any clue in here? No. Doesn't say anything. No. I do seem to remember reading. Didn't I read something about the electric fence somewhere at some point? I don't know. Because there's some part of the back of my brain that's saying the electric fence now has a recharge period. And I can't find where I read that. So I'm wondering whether this is the imaginations of my dreams, or whether it's a real piece of information that I have indeed read somewhere. But that would explain what's going on if the electric fence has a recharge rate, because there were quite a lot of monsters attacking the base all at once. And if some of them were getting killed by the electric fence, but then the electric fence had to recharge itself, that would explain how the others managed to slip through. So that would explain everything, basically.
An energy crystal has been
That is going to be interesting in terms of the strategy, though, because what are you going to do if the electric fence doesn't work? Because the electric fence used to be basically impenetrable, at least to monsters. All the monsters were killed by one blast of the electric fence, and possibly that's why this recharge has been put in, because they feel that the electric fence is understandably a little bit overpowered. So potentially that's the reasoning. The question is the solution. I think the solution might possibly be multi-layered defenses. So, for example, where I've put this electric fence here, if I put another piece here and then put another line of it along here, then like the first wave of monsters would be killed by this line of electric fence. The second wave would get through, but then they'd be killed by this lot. And then the third wave would still get through, but they'd then be killed by this lot. And by that point, this electric fence would have recharged. So potentially that could be a tactic used for losing where the heck you've left your machines. That could be a tactic useful for fighting off the monsters a little bit more effectively using the electric fence. But I'm going to err on the side of the mining laser turrets. I think those are going to be a brilliant solution to that problem, because you don't need a person in them. You don't need to leave someone in them, and if you do it at close enough range, then it won't cost you crystals. And even if it did, even if it did cost you crystals, that could be sort of useful in a way, because they don't. Well, I say they cost you crystals. They drain your crystals. That's a more accurate way of describing it. They drain your crystals and replace them with the purple variety, which you probably can't see. Oh, you can see here. They replace them with this purple variety here, which don't have any power in them. Then you can use these recharge beams in order to power them up again. I would have shown you that by this point if I had anything. Oh, I do have something to drain crystals, thinking about it, don't I? I guess that could be a little extra thing that I've never shown you before.
Solid rock.
There we are. Now that's drained a load of my crystals, I think. Can I dispense... Can I not dispense drained crystals? No? Is that not a thing I can do? Have I completely misunderstood the mechanics? That seems entirely plausible. Oh no, there they are. They've been booted out here. Oh. That's quite sad, actually, looking at that. Goodness. Okay, well at least this will give me the opportunity to show you the crystals being recharged, because I feel like I have done that once by accident, but I don't think that was in a video, so at least that'll be a little extra something I can show you, because I appreciate I haven't shown you a huge amount in this video, but so here we go. Is this music a bit loud? I feel like this music is a bit loud. I can't find them. Well, there they are. Look, here's the visuals of it. It's all very nice and lovely. I can't show you the auditories of it because I think this music might be a tiny bit loud, but it's too late for me to fix that now. There we are. Yeah, so it drains your crystals and you could recharge them. Now, the whole point of me talking about draining the crystals was because if you had a mining laser, you could technically do something quite useful. Because if you've got crystals that are full of power and you don't want the monsters to get them, you could purposefully drain them, because I don't think the monsters eat drained crystals. I don't think they have any interest in them at all. So you could purposefully drain as many of your crystals as you could in order to safeguard those ones and create a stockpile of drained crystals instead, which you could then recharge once the threats had passed and then put them back in your base to complete your objectives. That could be a useful tactic for fighting off slimy slugs as well, thinking about it. Because now that I think about it, I don't think monsters can actually eat crystals out of your building. So once you've got them in your stockpile, I think they're safe at that point. They might be able to get them out of the power station, potentially, but I don't think they can. The slugs, on the other hand, can, because they go directly up to the buildings and suck the power out of them. And that's where draining your crystals could be really beneficial, I think. Because if you just had a massive stockpile of drained crystals, you could then get a recharge seam, put your tool store right next to it, like here, and then have a band of miners move all of your drained crystals right here, with the priority to have drained crystals turned off. So turn that off, put all your drained crystals here, having purposefully drained them using the laser beam, and then have like half your troops there, ready, and then the rest of your troops on the outskirts of your base with pusher beams and sonic blasters to push the slugs away from your base, and then give your miners enough time to charge all those crystals and then put them all in your base. Now that possibly sounds like an awfully contrived and difficult strategy, however I'm thinking of a very specific mission which requires horribly contrived and difficult strategies in order to win it, and I really look forward to trying to come up with some strategies and testing them out in a video when the slugs are implemented, and we can have a bit of fun with that together. And by a bit of fun, I mean inevitably fail miserably at it and make myself look like an idiot. But never mind. I think that will pretty much do us for today. This is the beginning of the monsters. It is the beginning of something very good. I very much look forward to when the rest of the monsters come in. I look forward to seeing what they do with the ice monster texture and the lava monster texture, because it's not just a different look, they are actually slightly different shapes, because the rock monsters, you can see, are quite sort of rounded and even, versus the lava monsters are a little bit more sort of cylindrical, if I remember correctly. Like their heads are slightly longer, I think, or taller rather. and the ice monsters are a bit more sort of jaggedy, like broken pieces of ice. So I really look forward to seeing what they do with that. And if this is what they're doing with the icy water texture, then I really look forward to seeing what they do with the ice monster texture. That should be good fun to examine, and we'll get to see the sonic blasters in use when the slugs come along, and have a very interesting time with the slugs, and also hopefully get to see the other guns working a little bit better, or just working at all. I don't know whether that's me, or I don't know whether that's the build, but we'll see what happens. But yes, good to have a little bit more of this guy, because I mean, it's a pain in the butt because I've got like a million things I really want to publish at the minute, and I can't because I've got to stick to a particular schedule. I can't just release loads of stuff all at the same time. It's just this difficult balancing act of what do I release first. But never mind, that's completely pointless and irrelevant to this. Never mind. I hope you've enjoyed this little look at a few monsters. I certainly have enjoyed it very much. Thank you very much for joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Look after each other, and good night.